Right, hello and welcome everyone to the first day of Christmas, where today we're going to cover some corner permutation stuff for this F2L case. Quite noticeably, this is the TTLL plus F2L case, but we're only really going to be concerned about corner permutation for the first part. So, these three here are our main normal inserts, and these are both variations on the same RUD corner com. So here's the baseline com we're going to use, and it solves double opposite on the U layer, R prime, D prime, R, U2, R prime, D, R. So by using this insert, you can solve corner permutation, and because it doesn't really affect these two, it makes it a lot easier to look ahead into EPLL, because you already know what's behind back here. Now, if you have a bar on right, you're going to do a U prime, and you're going to do the same corner com, but instead of U2, it's U prime. And again, because it preserves so much, it's literally a three corner com, the look ahead is brilliant. Front bar is the opposite case, we do a U, and then we insert with a U. This has all been covered a fair amount of times. Let's look at these three now. The first case here is with headlights on both sides, and if you do blind, if you've done any amount of OP, you will know that you can just solve this by doing a Y perm without the first and last F moves. Very nice. So again, this can solve corner permutation for you. However, these cases are a bit more interesting. Here we see we have right opposite and front opposite. Now outside of some crazy tricks, we're mostly looking to just avoid diag here. So for these two cases, out of the three RUD corner coms that we just ran over earlier, one of them will give you diag. The easiest way to avoid this for both cases is to do the U2 corner com, as that will not give you diag in either case. However, the U2 insert isn't the only way to avoid diag, and the other way is to AUF the corner towards the opposites. So here the opposites are on right, so if we AUF the corner to right and we do the U insert, we don't get diag. And then of course the opposite here, if we AUF it towards the front, we don't get diag. Okay, so now you will either get solved or adjacent CP every time you get that F2L case. You can completely avoid getting diag every single time. But we can push this further. Given that in all of those cases, bar, double bar, when we actually did an ALG, we just did an RUD corner com that swaps around three corners. So if we were to do two or more of these, we could solve any last slot case from that F2L pair that has edge permutation solved. These cases and their mirrors. These are the main patterns you have to look out for. Of course, you can always have them mirrored, so to give that a demonstration. This case here, it has the double bar and you have this kind of line across here. The mirror of that has the line across here. These cases can all be solved relatively intuitively using the RUD corner coms and just picking a corner and running with it. So for this one, I'm going to pick up front left. I see this opposite here, so if we do a U2, well now that leaves us with this insert, which solves the last layer. Now for this case, while it's a corner com, this corner will stay in place, and if we do a U prime, it will move this edge to here, which will make the blue block. So if I do that, there we go, that sets us up to another corner com that will solve it. Here again, we can do the same thing, move this edge over here with like this, and solve. Now lastly, for this case, you might be tempted to do the same thing as we've just done with these past two, bring this edge over to here. However, this will actually leave us with another case that requires two commutators to solve. So instead, if we bring this edge to this corner, well then that leaves us with one. That's just a little thing to remember, but it's really not that hard to learn. So now, instead of just having one insert for this case, you have 4 that will solve CP, 2 that will avoid diag, and an extra 4, 3 of which can have mirrors that will entirely solve the last layer. So I hope you got a lot more out of this case in your future solves.